Big Guy Gaming, and this is my review channel. I want you guys to go down into the descriptions or go down on this video, like, subscribe, turn on notifications because that would be a pretty big help. I'm going to be using my own rating system for this video, for this game. I'm going to be using big bits and little bits. Big bits mean that the game did good in one part, like the fun factor. If I talked about the fun factor, I'd probably give it a big bit. But that's kind of how that was an example. That's kind of how I'm gonna be using the big bits and the little bits. The little bits are kind of like, the game did all right. They could have done better in the game. Those are the little bits and big bits, just to give you an example or an explanatory example, so you guys know. So first I want to start off with the fun factor. I feel they did pretty good to make this game fun. What made this game fun to me, and yes, I do give this a big bit, what made this game fun for me is the gear. Exploring the gear had a lot of different things to it. Picking up a gear piece just made this game fun. Even if I didn't need the gear piece, I still knew that I could just portal myself back to the town and sell this piece of gear for some gold, which gold was very useful in this game. So that's kind of what made this game very fun. Just knowing that you can make 10,000 gold in just a few seconds of playing the game. Probably not a few seconds, probably like a few minutes. But it took me a few hours. Actually, it took me an hour. But still, just knowing that I can make 10k gold just like that, at level 11, 10k gold on this game. That gold is pretty useful. The reason why it's useful, and that this is also a part of fun factor, is because you can enchant your gear. You can enchant your gear. You can do all types of different things with this gold. You can buy different pieces of gear, buy your gear sets, and buy all these weapons, buy enchantments. And you can also, remove talents, which was also something that I did a lot in this game, and that's also something you're gonna have to do a lot in this game. If you want to be strong in this game, you're gonna have to use a lot of your gold to make yourself much stronger than the things you're fighting. Because then if you don't, which I learned fast, because I played on one of the more harder difficulties called Elite, the second to last difficulty. Yeah, I probably shouldn't play on Elite anymore. I should just keep playing on casual because Elite is way too hard. But even if there were 4 classes, this game still did make it fun. And I think what they could have done to make it even better was add a few more classes, because having 4 classes, to me, the more classes and the more choices I have really does make me feel like I am more free in this game. This game was kind of like, had a Diablo mix to it, but if Diablo looks like a cartoon almost, that's kind of what it was, basically. But it wasn't actually, it was just not that boring, because Diablo to me is pretty boring. This game right here, this game is the real deal. It's the real thing. Torchlight, I could play for hours. I could play Torchlight for hours and hours and hours. But I most likely wouldn't know life this game, because I would eventually get bored and hop off and play like a different game or whatever, because I'm just that type of person who can't, just not play a game. I have to play something, because I have to stream this stuff. But that's probably gonna be for another time. But Torchlight is, I give the fun factor a big bit. Now I want to move on into what made this game so unique to me. As I said when I was talking about fun factor, I do give the unique style a big bit. The reason why I do is because when I said in the beginning, I said that this game kind of had a Diablo feel, and that's kind of what made this game unique. Because at the same time, it wasn't Diablo, but it still made it feel like Diablo, even though it wasn't. There are different types of classes, talents. You can even have your, at the start, you get your own pet. And this pet will follow you throughout the game no matter what you do, unless you send him home, which nobody's gonna do that unless you want to, test out a weapon by yourself. I don't know, but it made the game fun just having another pet beside you, knowing that it's gonna do some damage to the target that you're fighting. I think the pet thing really did make this game very unique. Having that pet, even though you're not, a different class, because I thought when I first seen this game, I thought the Outlander was the only one who could have a pet at the start. But no, all four classes, the Ember Mage, the Outlander, the Rain, or not the Ranger, I almost said Ranger, the Outlander is a Ranger, I'm guessing. But the Berserker, and I'm pretty sure there's another one, I can't think of them. But it's all fine. I could only name three. Should show up right here. But all of those, yeah, and even the engineer, all of those classes could have the pet, and I think that that's what really did hook me on this game. Not only that you could have a pet, because in games, to me, I think pets are really cool to have. What could have made the game better is I think they could have made it to where you had to tame the pet. So you could choose a pet that you wanted, but you wouldn't start off with the pet. Once you get into like the game, you would have to tame the pet. So you would have to use something to tame this pet that you wanted. Or it dropped off a boss, so if you like killed a boss, the pet, the pet, you have to fight the pet first, or the soon to be pet, and then you could tame the pet once it's more weaker, or something like that. Some mechanic like that, or whatever. I feel that that would also make the game pretty fun. Um, Being that you get pretty good gear anyway at the start. So I think that that would also make it even better and make the game much more fun. Moving on to sound. Sound, I don't really listen to sound in games, but when I first start off the game, I like in some games, I when I first start off the game, I don't really like the sound. I really like music and not sound that makes me have a headache. I like a slow paced sound, and when I'm doing something that's like action based, the sound starts to, get hyped up, and starts to rise. I don't really like sound that just, stays the same for the whole game, just some loud sound, even though I'm just walking through like a forest or something. I don't really like that high metal sound that really gives me a headache, because having a headache really does suck. Um, so I'm gonna give this sound a big bit because it didn't really have something like that. It had more of a World of Warcraft, which that also could have gone in my unique style one. It gave me a Diablo and a World of Warcraft feel, but that's all I'm gonna say about that. But the sound, I really did like the sound. It really did engage me into the game, and yeah. Also, this game was very action based, which I think if the action you have to really make, it's something that's not really planted into the game where it's just always action, like a ton of hardcore action going on, you actually have to go up to that boss and start to kill this boss with all of your new abilities and all of your new gear that you got. You actually have to make the action, and you can't just stand there and action is just gonna happen. You know, you have to go to the action. You can't just let the action come to you. And if you want more action, just play hardcore mode, which is the highest one, where you actually have to try and survive what I would call the wilderness. Um, I think that's all I really have to say about this game. It's not really much about this game that I can really say more. I said everything I had to say. This game is pretty fun. And also something I have to say, things that could have made this game pretty even better was if you added professions. If Runic Games added professions in this game, so if you can make gear, like on the run, so you can sell this gear and get more gold, so you can get into, I'm not gonna go into that stuff more, but I think professions would just make this game perfect, and yeah, I think I would play this game way too much. Now, I can say for people who have jobs, you're probably not gonna get the most out of this game, cause this game is very addicting, and it can take up a lot of time. So if you want to get the most out of this game, I don't know. I mean, I don't really know what you're gonna do. I mean, you're probably not gonna get as far as I did, as fast as I did, because I did get pretty far pretty fast. I got to level 21 on one of my characters. I have two characters, a berserker and engineer, I think. But this game was really fun. Really did like it. And yeah, I mean, things that could have made this game even better. I just said that. Professions. I have reached the end of what I had to say. My name is Big Guy Gaming. Like, subscribe. Go check out this game on Epic Games and all of the other websites that you can check it out on. Because, I mean, Epic Games is where I got it from. But you can go check it out on other different games. Like, subscribe, turn on notifications. And yeah, this is the end of the video. I'm gonna go ahead and yeah, toodles.